The truth can hurt you, or the truth can change you. What will truth do to you? The truth can hurt you, or the truth can change you. What will truth do to you?
Hello there, my beautiful and handsome listeners and viewers. How are you today? How has your day been? Mine has been beautiful because I have got a beautiful mind. You are welcome to your reality talk show, Beautiful Mind. This is the show that says no to stigmas, discriminations, and any judgmental attitudes. Our aim is to let people know that they are not alone and they do not need to suffer in silence when it comes to talking about what they are going through publicly. And on this show, we talk about issues that are considered as taboo. The people generally do not feel comfortable to talk about them openly because they are worried that you might condemn or judge them. We want to let them know that help is readily available without, their past or their orientation, whatsoever it is that they might be going through. We want them to know that help is readily available. Beautiful Mind believes that everyone deserves love and respect regardless of their past, their sexual orientation, and their learning disability. So you're welcome on board. Why don't you grab yourself a cup of tea, hot chocolate, water, coffee, soup, whatsoever that makes you feel comfortable, and sit down and come along with us. And if you're coming back from work and you're driving, listening via our online radio, please drive carefully as you enjoy the show. And if you're watching on your big screen as well, please don't forget to get your phone and share the page to your friends on Facebook. Let them know that it is time for Beautiful Mind. Today we have a very special guest, and we are going to be talking about something that most people don't like to come out to discuss publicly. You know that is what we discuss here on Beautiful Mind. So please do not go anywhere because today's show is going to be informative and educative. And you can connect with us to be part of this show on 079-603-91983. And if you want to text us outside UK, please put +44 and you can get us here and let us hear your views, your opinion, your comments, or your contribution. The topic for our discussion today is the danger of bad company. Yes, I said it. Some people believe they know themselves. They can never, eat with bad people. Even when they eat and dine with them, they can never go their ways. Well, we want to hear from our guest today how he was able to do it. Did I say was able to keep to himself? Well, you have to hear the story from him. And that is why you cannot go anywhere, because today's show is going to be informative and educative. Please let your friends, your colleagues, your children, your family, your enemy, yes, your enemy, let them know that it is time for Beautiful Mind. Wow, Kenyon, I am so happy to have you in the studio today. How are you? Wow, thank you very much I know you're a very busy man. I do really understand. And I want to say I do really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming to bless us here today on Beautiful Mind. I know you, and I know that some people that are listening or might be watching later might know you, but there's still some few people out there that do not know you. Can you please introduce yourself to my viewers and my listeners? Okay, we are waiting for Kenyon to join us. I believe it is live but he's got his microphone muted. You need to unmute yourself because we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Please unmute yourself so that we can hear you. We still can't hear you. If you can hear me, we can't hear you. You need to unmute your microphone so we can hear you. This is your girl, Adeyinka Adeomi. If you're just joining us for the very first time or you are coming across the show for the very first time, this is Adeyinka Adeomi. And we are broadcasting live from the studios of Beam TV, or some people know it as Peace and Joy TV. And we are reaching out to all over the world. Yes, I believe Kenyon can hear
Can you
me
hear me
now. Yes, we can. That's good. Thank you.
Apologies. Sorry, my AirPods, I thought they were on the ball, but clearly they weren't. So I apologize.
It's okay. Can you please introduce yourself to my viewers and my listeners?
Of course I can. So my name is Kemoy Walker. When I spoke to you, I mentioned about I came from Jamaica in 2002. I was born in Jamaica and I came to the UK in 2002. The roles I do in Manchester is I'm a youth worker. I'm also a newly appointed head of year in a school in North Manchester. And I'm also a community ambassador for Manchester City Council and Moss Side. I think you've muted yourself, Adeyinka.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's a lot of hats for one person. How have you been able to manage and maneuver, changing different hats? How have you been able to do that?
It's been years, but it's hard work. It's commitment, it's organization, it's being on the ball. And these are some of the key skills you've got to learn in life. And I believe throughout the years, I've been showing those key skills, and that's what's helped me to be the best version of myself.
Want everybody out there to be the best version of themselves. Well done for all what you are doing. Can you please tell us a bit about yourself, just your background, where you grew up from as a child, before coming to this country? Because I just want people to peep into your background a little bit before we go further.
Absolutely. So living in Jamaica was hard. I lived with my aunties and uncles, and we were a very Christian family, so we're Christian oriented, and we went to church every Sunday. But I went to school. I didn't have mom, and dad was around, but he went to America after a while, so it was auntie looking after us. So I kind of learned a lot living with auntie in terms of ironing and loads of great things. Actually, auntie's given me so much skill sets, and the family that I had in Jamaica really, really helped. So it was just, I went to school as normal in Jamaica, and my mom kind of got in touch, because in Jamaica, same with other countries, they used to do Christmas greetings on the TV. And I remember the time I see my mom for the first time, and it got me in tears. And later down the line, she filed for me and my sister to come over to the UK to come and live with her, and that's how I came over in 2002. But I came from a good Christian background, family that just loved Christ. With whatever they do, church was the paramount of our lives, and it just made me the person I am. It really nurtured and nourished me to be the person I am today.
Thank you very much. We can all be the very best version of ourselves. I really need you to keep an eye or a listening here to what Kenyon has been saying about being the best version of himself. I hope you will be able to say that at the end of today's show as well. You moved on to the UK, from Jamaica at the age of 11, and you started high school and you made new friends. Can you please share with us what kind of influence your new friends, had on you? That you were going to church, you church goer, what kind of influence did they have on you?
I think friendships are key, and I always say that the friendship groups that you are with is what sometimes determine your future or your lifestyle, because it's your friends that when you go out there, you know, and you're doing stuff with them, you know, that's your kind of other life that you're living as well. I had good friends. I had friends that were involved in not so good things. So, you know, just doing things that, you know, I wouldn't want it to do. So, for example, like smoking weed, drinking. So I had two sets of friends. Ones were school friends that were all Christian and loved God and wanted to, and I loved that with them. And then I had another set of friends that were kind of into like smoking and drinking and partying and that kind of lifestyle. And I was torn in between which friendship group I wanted to stick with, but I kind of knew, and I wanted to stick with my friends that were Christians, you know, and were doing, you know, they were doing the right thing. And but at the same time as well, I love my other friends, and I wanted to kind of be around them still, but it was hard because I wanted them to change their ways, but it was hard for them at the same time as well. So at times, you know, they were doing things that I didn't want to do, but they were my friends at the same time. So it's growing up and being young. It's so hard as a young person, you know, when it comes to friendship groups, because it really, really does have an impact on your life. And for me, I was torn in between both friendship groups, you know, that it was, you know, it was really tough.
Thank you very much for that. It must have been tough from you, you know, coming from another environment straight to another environment, and you have to be able to pick, you know, from good or from bad. So I do totally understand you. But something happened in the shop and your mom was called upon. Can you please share this incident with us?
Yeah, of course I can. So growing up as a young person, obviously there's been negatives from me. So, you know, I know my family's watching now because I can see my sister there putting a love a fire emoji, but she's gonna learn it and learn something new as well. So obviously coming to the country, there were times I was involved in negative behavior, and one of the time it resulted with me going into a shop and stealing from the shop. It was a shop in Manchester city centre. Obviously, in the end, police called home, and mom came. And when she came, obviously being a Jamaican parent, similar to African parent, the strictness and so mom kind of embarrassed me in the shop in front of everyone, swearing in Jamaican language. And while she was doing that, obviously I was in tears, I was crying, but I really kind of reflected in that moment as well, to think, obviously, mom's here and, you know, single parent in the UK, you know, I need to do better. So from the shop and stealing and, you know, getting involved in bad company, and mom kind of holding me to account and kind of like really showing me, because you know what them parents are like you're either getting a lick with a stick or with a shoe or with a belt, all the rest of it, you know. And as a young person, especially in that generation, I grew up with that kind of tough love, them kind of, you know, if you mess about, you're gonna get beat. You know what I mean? So that kind of taught me and flourished me in a way that made me know kind of manners and respect and respecting my elders, and it really, really taught me a lot. From that one incident, it really taught me a lot. But that was again because I seen friends doing it, I seen other people doing it. So I wanted to jump on the bandwagon, and it's so easy to follow company because it's just how society is sometimes.
Much, Kenya, for that. You know, from my pre-interview with you, you told me that wasn't the first time. How did it all started for you to have the confidence to say, I want to go into a shop and steal? It must have started somewhere. How did it all started for you to have that confidence and boldness to say, I'm taking it a step higher now, going into the shop?
When you see other people doing it, it gets you excited to want to do it. And I think for me, growing up in the area and the neighborhood I lived in, it was in that generation and in that time of life, you know, it was young people were doing things like that. So it kind of made me feel I had the confidence to do it. So it's watching, and this is where again role models come into it. If you live in a community or a lifestyle where you've got negative role models that you watch and see them do things like that, it gives you the confidence yourself to go and follow. So from doing that, obviously, when I said there were other incidents as well, obviously growing up, you know, and watching friends go and do other things, I was joining in, because it was just easy at the time and it was exciting. And it's the buzz and it's the adrenaline and the rush. And when you're younger like that, this is the kind of way our young people are sometimes. If they see another young person go and do something or go and commit a crime, you're quick to go and follow as well and join the lingo. And that's what it was all about. So for me, watching my peers and other people do that, gave me the confidence to go and do it. And obviously before doing the shop, obviously there were other incidents where I was doing it and getting away with it because it was just not, when you're not getting caught in situations like that, you're going to continue doing it. And then obviously from doing the shop and mom coming, that was kind of like the end point for me to kind of think, you know what, enough is enough.
Thank you very much. I know that wasn't, easy for you to come on the national TV to share that with us. So I do really appreciate your courage. And again, we're sharing this. You might be with a group of people at the moment, and you're thinking they're doing this and it's cool, and you're feeling cool about it. But is that the right way of living? Is that the right way to life? Is that the right way to live? Is that the legacy you want to leave? Is that what you want to be remembered for? And that is what we are sharing this afternoon. So please, we are not condemning anybody or judging anybody if you find yourself in this kind of situation. But I hope and I do pray that at the end of this show, you'll be able to turn the other good way. You just need to stay tuned and listen to Kenyon's story and see how God, worked with him all through this journey. Back to when your mom was called upon. As a mother, I would say, I'm not just a mother, an African mother, I will feel ashamed and embarrassed. How did your mom, how did she take it?
Do you know what? She was disappointed. I think she was disappointed because she knows that obviously that's not me. And I think that's it. When a parent knows their child, they know what you are capable of. And I think with mom, she knew that something was wrong. And sometimes that's the warning sign for parents to recognize and realize my son don't normally do stuff like that. So for him to do that, maybe he's been doing stuff like that a while, but it's now been brought to my attention that this is something now that maybe my child is doing now because I've caught him or I've been told now that he's doing this. And for parents, it gives them that kind of that sign in the red to think, you know what, I need to put a stop to it. So I know at first, obviously I was upset that I upset mom. And I think any child, if a child does something like that and the mom gets called and the reaction is don't care or I'm not bothered, then that to me is a young person who genuinely don't care. Whereas for me, I think seeing my mom in the state I seen her in and in tears, really, like that really kind of touched me in a way. And I think to watch that and see that, it really showed me that no, this can't happen again. To see that happen, that to me, was important. And seeing my mom and watching how she looked, and then that kind of really kind of got home to me that this is not the right way at all.
So what was the turning point for you? Because I believe every one of us, we always have a turning point. What was it for you that made you to say, wow, I have to change this lifestyle?
For one, mom was a single parent in the UK, and obviously there's me and my sister as well. The burdening of a single parent, is very, very strong, especially when there's no other support network. So for me, I think every young person's different, but I think for me, the reason why I'm sharing this and really saying this is because I think as young people, we often reflect. And I think for me, I went through that massive reflection point where I thought, you know what? Mom is a single parent in the UK. I can't let her down like this. And maybe not everybody thinks the same way as me, but for me, that was important to have that time to sit down, cry, and really reflect and think, you know what, I am letting my mom down and I cannot do it. And I think as a young person, if you can do that and be brave enough to do that, you are a fantastic young person.
Much for that. I appreciate the fact that you mentioned the fact that your mom was a single mother. And some people believe that children that are raised by single parents usually behave in such manner. Is that a true case? Or is that your own case? Was it because you were raised by a single mother, or because your father wasn't there?
That is a fantastic. That is a fantastic question. I feel like every young person's case and story is different, and I feel like maybe for me that was my turning point, and maybe upon reflection I was able to do that. But I don't think many other young people would think the same way that live in the community I lived in. Maybe some other young people would have carried on being on that journey of negative behavior and continuously making the wrong decision. Whereas for me, as somebody who's grown up in a family in Jamaica and watching the family struggle and coming there and watching my mom struggle, that had to be a turning point for me to think, do I really want to get the police involved? Or am I going to calm myself down, sort myself out, self-regulate myself, and get myself back in order? And I think if you're a young person that can kind of have those times of reflection and moments of thinking, then you know then that you've made a mistake, and you've really reflected and thought about your family. And I thought about my mom, and I thought I cannot let her down, so I had to make sure I made the right decision. Other young people might think different. This is what I'm saying again. It's down to young people's lives and stories. Other young people might be doing what they are doing to look after their parents and family, whereas for some young people, it's just for fun. They were doing it for. For me, it was a bit of fun, and that was it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Kenya. You know, a lot of young people find it difficult to say no to pressure. How did you put up the courage, to tell your friends that is it? I've had enough of all this, your bad influence in my life and what he has allowed me to do or what he has encouraged me to do. I'm going to put a stop to it. How were you able to stand up to them and face them to say, no, enough is enough? Because a lot of our young teenagers, they can't just say no to pressure.
You are right. And you know what? I really feel sorry for the young people in this current generation. Maybe in my generation, it was a lot. I wouldn't say it was easy, but it felt a little bit more easier than what the young people are currently going through now in terms of peer pressure. I will admit, growing up and being in the UK and being around the friends that I had, I was peer pressured. And sometimes at point, there was that bit of bullying that made me feel like I needed to do things. For me, having the ability to say no is huge, but I had to have the courage because I was seeing the damaging effect it was having on my family, on my community. Because what I was noticing as well, people know in my community about me, and then they were seeing me doing certain things or around certain people, and they were having conversation with me saying, Kemoy, that's not like you, that you shouldn't be hanging around with people like that. And I think those are really key. If people that know you or knows your family notice that you're involved in something that they don't think that is you, and that speaking to you about it can have a really kind of impact on how you continue your lifestyle. So for me, I think it's hard to say no when being peer pressured. However, it's about having the courage sometimes. And I know young people find it difficult in this current society, but sometimes you have to pluck the courage to say no and walk away. And you know what? I did that, and that was the best decision I made in my lifetime, because not only did it improve me as a person, but it allowed me to carry on the journey that I needed to carry on, whilst some of those friends ended up in prison and ended up, obviously not having the lifestyle that, you wouldn't imagine, and it really, really made me reflect and thought, you know what, I did make the right decision.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And how did they react when you were saying all this to them that, hang on, I can't continue? How did they take it?
I had sleepless nights, and that's me being honest. I had sleepless nights because I loved my friends, and it's really hard even till this day when I reflect back and think I really love these guys, but I had to do what was right for me. And I felt like sitting down with people and saying, look, I don't want to chill with you anymore because you're getting me involved in bad stuff, or I don't like the fact that you're smoking and stuff. Sometimes you've got to put the courage to do that. And I did it, and I felt good doing that. And I think it's really nice when you can have them conversations to say, look, I can't do this anymore because you guys are living a life that I don't want to be part of. And I had to do that in my lifetime. And you know what, upon reflection, it was sad because I do miss them, and I really kind of maybe wish that, you know, things could have been a bit different, but I had to make them decisions to get away from bad company and get away from people that weren't inspiring on and wasting general life. For me, life is to be lived and have the best experience going. And if you're just going to wake up and chill and smoke weed and drink alcohol and do this, and it's a repeated cycle, you're not living the best of your life.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. You know, life is to be enjoyed. Thank you. I love that. Thank you very much for those people watching with us on YouTube. Whilst you are on our YouTube channel, can you please subscribe to that channel? And if you're watching on Facebook as well, and you want to watch us on your big screen, so please go and set for Beautiful Mind TV and subscribe in order for you to get that notification anytime we are live. Thank you very much. PJ said, thank you, my friend, from all the way from London. Thank you, Lloyde. Thank you, Quina. Thank you, Kay. Thank you very much. If I didn't mention your name, that's because I'm not seeing you or you didn't drop us a comment. I want to be able to say hello. Please let us know where you are watching from. Thank you very much, Ovio, for joining us this afternoon. I do really appreciate. So, will you say that you were a Christian during all this period that you were doing all these things?
I grew up as a Christian. I was a Christian from the age of, I think I got baptized at the age of 6 in a church in Jamaica, a Pentecostal church. And then I came to this UK, and then later on in my years, I rebaptized again. So I kind of done a second baptism because I believed that I needed to really kind of get myself back to Christ. So yeah, I'd say that I've been a Christian the high majority of my life. I've loved it. I've enjoyed it. I believe, and other people might say differently. Well, might say the same thing as well. But I believe we've been put on the earth for a purpose, and I believe that mine is to make a positive contribution to society, which I believe I am doing. So I always believe that I'm being blessed every day of waking up and making a difference and really kind of working with the young people that I'm working with in the community and really making huge impact.
Very much. So were you able to influence some of your friends positively during that period, when you've said no and did they listen to you? I believe you mentioned that a bit, saying some of them were in jail. I believe if they listened to you, they wouldn't have. But did you make the effort in saying you asking them if they want to give their life to Christ or they want to turn from their bad lives? And did they believe in your conversion or they didn't?
They knew already that I was Christian, and they seen the stuff I was doing all the time, being good and doing good work in the community. I think for some people, when you're around a community, especially in communities like Mossad, Russia, local communities that I live in, it's very, very hard to see positive role models. And these are the conversations we're having all the time with other youth workers and young people about how often do they see positive role models than negative role models, and the answers are always coming up the same in terms of they seeing a lot of negative role models all the time. I think maybe at the time friends were too involved in being around negative role models that it was very hard for them to change their lifestyle. I think me speaking to them was like going in one ear and coming out the other. And I think sometimes people have to learn the hard way. And I think maybe sometimes prison was what made a lot of them come out and change. When we did motivational speaking and I invited some of the friends to come and speak to the young people, they were honest and they said, I wish I listened to Kemoy because I would have made some positive choices in my lifestyle. And that really touched me. It got me a little bit emotional. And I think that was really nice to hear that. And I think later on in life, upon reflection, because I believe people will either reflect early, middle, or later on in life about the choices they've made in their lives. And for some of them, going to prison and coming out and reflecting was it for them to realize that, what, I should have done this better, or I should have made the right choices, and I didn't.
Thank you. And this is why we're doing this show. people that come on this show come to share with us where they've made mistakes and where they've missed it. And they don't want you to repeat the same mistake or go through that same journey that they've been. They want us all to learn from it so that we can be the best version of ourselves. Because why do we have to go to prison for us to go and learn when we can listen to people's story and change and take one or two things from it? This is why I believe that listening to Kemoy today is going to change your orientation, your mindset, the way you view life, the way you see yourself. We should all see ourselves as leader of tomorrow, because all these younger ones are looking at us. They are trying to emulate us, to be like us. And what are they emulating? What are they seeing in us? This is why we're doing this show. And I pray to God that God will open our eyes and the eyes of our understanding for us to be able to see that we are all leaders, and the choices that we make today can either impact our lives positively or negatively in future. Kenyon, why is peer pressure such a big thing among our young people, and why can't they just resist it?
It's sad. It's sad. It really is sad. And when I speak about things like this is where I get very passionate. I think peer pressure is one of them things where, as young people, you want to fit in. That the main answer is you want to fit in society, in life. And I believe that a lot of young people might grow up and they might not fit in because maybe they don't look a certain way or they don't speak a certain way. And sometimes they have to pretend, because I believe in life, a lot of us, we do acting in our life every day. We act in work, we go there, we act in our community, we act in our home. We are our own person, but everywhere we go, we have to act to fit in wherever we are. And I believe that's just how society is. So I believe with peer pressure, it's one of them where, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get rid of peer pressure. I think wherever you go, you'll always have that peer pressure. And whether it's peer pressure in a good way or peer pressure in a bad way, you'll always have peer pressure. And unfortunately, in our communities, and I'm only speaking on behalf of my community because I've lived there and worked there a long time. There is a lot of peer pressure around there for young people to be a certain way and to live a certain way. And I suppose this is where it's crucial as parents, as community workers, that we intervene to try and get those young people away from those situations. So I'll give you a quick example. For example, I'm in Sheffield at the moment and I've took 12 young people with me. These young people would have probably been young people that are peer pressured every day. Me taking them away to this environment, I've allowed them to be themselves. I've allowed them to see a different environment. I've allowed them to kind of think, do you know what? Wow, every day in my friendship group, I'm being peer pressured. But I'm with Kemoy, I'm with these other young people, and wow, I feel good. I feel like I'm able to be myself. I feel like I'm able to let myself go. And I feel like that's what it is with young people and peer pressure, that sometimes, for them it can be very hard, but once they get into the right environment, they can let go of all of that peer pressure.
Wow, well done for that. I'm still coming back to that. Just hold that thought. Do not let it go about you working with these children. Well done, well done. Thank you very much for that. She's saying ability to make you a better person is a good ability to change, make you a better person. It's good to learn from your mistakes that make you a better place. Thank you. So proud of you, Kenya. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Oyovo, for joining us this evening. Thank you. I do really appreciate you. Right. You are so involved in many activities in the community. Is this something that you have always wanted to do?
In Jamaica, believe it or not, I said to myself, in the future, I would love to be a pastor, a minister, or a teacher. Those were always the three things I wanted to do. And the reason I thought that was because I believed it was my calling. And I just thought, do you know what? These three things will be the biggest jobs where you can make a massive impact to young people and the community. And believe it or not, 19 years later, I've exactly achieved all three roles that I've just said. I became a youth minister. Then now I work in a school as a head of year, so I manage 275 plus young people in 1 year group, year 9, when we go back next week. So these were kind of my life, the things that I said I wanted to achieve in my life. When I grew up and came to this country, it could have easily turned the other way. But this is what I mean about you are your own person to make the right choices. You make them choices. So for me, it was either, Kemoy, you need to go in the path of the dreams of the things you said you wanted to do, or you can go down that pathway or that lifestyle where it's negative and it's going to take you a long time to get where you're getting because there might be some trouble along the way. And it's up to me and us as individuals to make the right choice. And for me, it was, do you know what? I want to be the best version of myself. You will keep hearing me say that because my head teacher and the school that I'm in planted that in our brains to everyone, the staff and the young people, that life is about being the best version of yourself. And for me, I knew I wanted to be the best version of myself, so I knew the path I wanted to take was the path of going down that road where I can achieve those things. And I went to college. I went to 2 colleges at the same time. Then I went to study different things, did loads of online courses. Then I went to university. So I've done it all. But throughout them times and them journey of doing these things, I struggled financially. Sometimes I couldn't afford to take the bus to college, so I had to cycle. I remember when it was snowing one time, and there was snow everywhere, and I rode to college, and college was about half an hour, 45 minutes away. And there were times my hand was freezing. I didn't have a proper coat. My hand was freezing, and I fell off my bike, but I still carried on riding because I wanted to make sure I was in college to get my work done. So throughout my lifetime, I struggled. And I think growing up, I'm able to share them stories with young people. And one of my favorite quotes is always going to be hard work and perseverance, because no matter whatever happens in your life, you do not give up. You continue. People will continue saying no, 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 no. But do you listen, or do you just ignore them and think, do you know what? I want to better me and live a better life. So that's what I've always gone off them values. And I've reached the level where I'm at the moment, where I feel like there's nothing more I can do. Like I feel like I've done it all.
Wow, thank you very much for that. Anybody can be successful in life. And if you are determined and you're diligent and you are dedicated, you will surely achieve that success. You will surely attain the success that you want or you envision yourself to have. Thank you very much for sharing that with us this evening. Among the young people, when I work with them, most of the young people or the teenagers, that I've worked with, most of them are so confused about their life purpose. How did you know that what you are doing now is what God wants you to do? I just wanted to share it so that a young person watching this or that might come across this video will be able to know, this might be what God wants me to do as well.
Growing up, I always said to myself, I think from childhood and watching the family, I think for me that's such a good question, and I'm always trying to think of ways of how I can answer it in the best way, because I love that question. I always say in life there are 3 things that determine our futures, and I believe it's true, and this is just what I've always thought. Your family can determine your future and where you go in life. Your environment and your friends and the people that you hang around with, and school and education, because education again determines where you go in your life. And I think for me, growing up with the family that I grew up with, I already kind of knew their values, and that rubbed onto me easily. So I knew that because they were all Christians and they all went to church every Sunday, I knew I had to follow in those footsteps. And I think just going to church and all of that really made me believe the messages and just being a good person. And when you are a good person and you honor your father and your mother, then your blessings will come even more. And I think when you read a lot of scriptures like that, it really teaches you about the values of life and importance of being respectful and manners. Manners is important, and showing good manners to your parents and I just believe in all of that. And I suppose growing up as a young Christian, I was able to follow those values, and it made me just be the best version of myself and become a good Christian.
Thank you very much for that, Kenyon. I just want to add to what he has said. Sometimes we are waiting to hear one voice that will say to us, "Hello, my child, this is what I want you to do." But sometimes it doesn't happen like that. What is it that you have passion for? What is it that you love to do? Even when you are not paid, you want to do that thing. What is it that when it's not done, you're not happy? When you get to a place, an environment, your eyes will just see that thing and you will think it's not right. I need to fix it. That might be the thing that God is calling your attention to. What is it that you see in the society and you think is not done properly, is not right? What is it that gives you that urge in you that say, go and fight for them, go and set them free, go and speak on their behalf, go and give them this? What is it that you just love to do and makes you happy? When you can answer those things, then you might be able to answer or get the answer that you are waiting to hear from that whispering from God saying, "My child, this is what I want you to do." Well, thank you very much. I hope I've been able to add to that. Do you have any regret, parting with those friends? And as any one of your friend, ever told you that they regretted not listening to you or your advice?
The good thing now is I'm working with my friends, and we're doing some upcoming stuff. So the friends that I used to hang around with, that I didn't hang around with after a while, just because of the lifestyle and the journey, now I've changed their lives around. So I'll give you an example. A lot of them turned to music. A lot of them are looking to now do podcasts and films where they want me to be involved. So I feel like now I've made a positive impact where they've seen it and now they want to help out. So I feel like now I can get them back again to nurture them and kind of develop them and work with them to be the best version of themselves, for me to then maybe rekindle those friendships and have them back as good friends that I used to have. So I feel like now, because I'm in regular contact with them now, and we're speaking about things we can do for young people, they have now changed their lives to be good, to be great. And I feel like that's something that I wanted to see, and I'm so glad now that it's come to fruition, because that is so important and key that I've watched and seen, and now they want to be a part of that journey.
Thank you. That's so good to hear. I'm so happy to hear that. And again, it's just to encourage somebody out there that, whatsoever life might have thrown at you or is still throwing at you presently, please don't think it's the end of the world or nothing good can ever come of it. No, that is the lie of the devil. When life gives you lemon, try to make lemonade out of it. That is all we'll be saying this afternoon. You might be thinking, my life is a mess, my life is not in shape. But those mess that you think life has given you, you can make a message out of that mess. That is what, Kenya has just encouraged us about his friends this afternoon as well. And I believe that might be your story as well very soon. Thank you very much for joining us. Is it true, Kenya, that stealing is a demonic, spirit that once it attacks you, or once you found yourself in it, or once that spirit is operating in your life, it takes hold of you, and that person can never come out of it? And you hear people say, "Oh, I'm a thief. I can never change. This is me." Is that a true statement, or is just the lie of the devil?
That's a good question. Again, I love the really important and key, and I think that's a really good question. I think for somebody to say that they're a thief and that's their life and they can't get away, that is absolutely rubbish. And I say that in the sense of, as human beings, we decide and we can change our lives anytime. I've said it to people before. I said it to young people. I said, if I wanted to be bad, I can go on the street now and be bad. If I wanted to go into that shop now and take something from that shop, I can go and do that now. If I want to be good today, I can be good today. And that's what I'm saying. Life choices, you make it happen when you can. And I feel like for people who maybe have been living that life of negativity where they have been stealing or been a thief, they can turn things around. But I do believe sometimes you need help, you need guidance, you need support. I know I'm saying it, I know I've said it in a way like, oh, it's easier to change your life and be the best. But I know sometimes if you've lived a life where you've done it for a purpose and genuinely you've grown up because you've seen your family do it, or, you know, sometimes you're just needing that guidance and advice to help change that path that you're on. And I think with some of our young people, they might come to me and say, Kemoy, look, I'm chilling with the wrong people. Young people have done that before. I've had loads of young people in the past that have come to me and say, oh, I'm chilling with the wrong people. Can you save me? Or can you help me? Or can you just say I'm coming with you instead, because they want me to go there and do this. And you know, sometimes that's people calling on your help to help them change their lifestyle. So I don't believe that people can have that role or be that person and it's like that forever. I do believe, though, I think if you steal, it's negative behavior, but I don't like to put a label on things in terms of saying that it's a demonic kind of lifestyle, or because I believe when you title things with these kind of wordings for other people, that can really affect them by saying that. And I'm just saying that because as a youth worker, we learn a lot about the kind of psychological side and how young people feel if we say things. It's just like back in the day, like my mom would say, oh, yeah, you're damn stupid, and for doing what you're doing and doing that, you're stupid, and all of that. That can really affect someone like me growing up thinking that maybe I am stupid, and then it really, you know, downs my confidence. So I feel like if we label things in ways, sometimes it can really kind of affect people. And I just feel like if someone steals, for example, you know, we can help them change their lives, or they can change their lives within a flash. I just think we need to believe in them for them to believe in themselves and to change their lives.
Thank you very much. I love the way you've put it. We have to be careful. We have to be crafty with our words. And that is why our words need to be, when you want to say anything, you have to think about it. Think that it is something that is worldly, something that is lovely, something that is beautiful, something that is worthy, something that is edifying, something that is beautiful. You know, those are the things that you want to share with people, not telling them that they're under the influence of the spirit and they can never come out of it. Once the spirit attack them, that is the end for them. No, that is the lie of the devil. We don't want the devil to take over people's life. We want them to come out. And how can we help them to come out? That is what we need to be looking at. And by telling them that we see the best in them, they can't be the best version of themselves. It's not that. That's not their calling. That's not their what. They want more than that. You know, we're telling them that they deserve better life, then they might be able to come out and think about, you know, reflect on what they are doing and come out of it to be the best version of themselves. Thank you very much for that, Kenyon. You know, how did you feel when God called you into ministry and said, I want you to be a minister of the gospel? You know, with your past, you know, I know that every one of us, we've got past. And with that past, do you think, God, how can you choose me? I've been caught in the shop stealing. I can't go out to tell people about the love of God. Did you ever feel that way, Kenya?
Do you know what? There's a saying that says God lives within us. I know, unfortunately, not many people believe that or will do things that, you know, you think, and that will make you question your faith and question Christianity. And there has been occasions where a lot of people question their faith when things have happened, when we've lost family members, you know, when the incident like the arena bomb attack happened and people are questioning their faith, saying, why would God allow this to happen? You know, it can be a difficult question, that one, only because everyone will have their own opinion. I believe for me, I've always been someone who believed that God lives within me. And I always believe that he's always calling me to do good stuff. And I think what proves it to me is when I do good stuff, I always get rewarded for it. And sometimes I look at things and I think, wow, I've been chosen for this, or I've passed this successfully, or, you know, like this. Certain times when I've had to question things and pray and say, thank you, God. Like even last night, I was praying because I've got the young people around me. They're having the best time in their life. You know, we went go-karting today. We've done some activities. And they all said, thank you, Kemoy. Wow, like one of them nearly cried, like just saying, I've never had this before, or nobody has really looked after me like this before. And when you think people say that, you're thinking, this is God saying, Kemoy, like, this is your calling to improve the life chances of these young people. Because if they stay in a community where they don't know nothing, where all they know is school and the community, they don't get to explore anything. So when you take them out of the area and do great activities with them, you are improving their life chances. Because me taking them away today to go-karting, many of them might want jobs in that go-karting place in 5 years' time. So we're improving the life chances of our young people. So for me, I believe that if I'm doing these things, that's God saying I am making a difference to other human beings. And that, to me, is a value in Christianity.
I love the way you see God, because I wish a lot of people can see God like that. That God lives in us, it dwells in us, and when He's speaking, from somebody, is actually God talking to me, saying, "Well done" to me. That is very, very good. Thank you. So, what do you have to say to people that have been, haunted by their past? And some people are still being haunted because of bad stuff they've done in the past. They think they're not worthy of God. They're not worthy of good things to happen to them. And that on its own is holding them back because of their past mistakes.
Definitely. That again is another fantastic question. I think in life, our past will always be a problem. And I think sometimes it does affect people. I think if you've been in prison and you come out and you try looking for a job and people say, oh no, I can't employ you because you've got a criminal record, automatically your past has haunted you. And I think your past will interfere with your future. I guess it's managing it. It's managing it. Like I said, there were things in my past that I wish I handled differently growing up. So the past really, really determines how you are in the future, but also it can be a positive too for some people. So I do think it depends how you handle it. But for me, I think everyone's different. I think I handled mine well because I was able to reflect on the past to make the future the best. Whereas for other people, theirs might just be the same, but it's how people handle it. I think you've just got to manage your past.
Very much. Yes, we have to be able to manage our past. Even when we think we are managing it very well, we are, in control. Some people will still come and remind us of our past. Some people are just mean. That is just the way they are at the moment. But that shouldn't stop you from being your real self, from being who God has chosen you to be, from doing what God has called you to be. Don't let anybody hold you down or any past mistakes that you have done. Go out there and be the best version of yourself. That is my word of encouragement this afternoon to you as you are watching us today. So what are the practical things or steps that you want to advise parents to put in place, in order to prevent their children from falling victims of bad association, friends, from associating with bad friends that influence their life negatively?
For me, you've got to get to know your kids. You've got to know them, and you've got to understand them, and you've got to listen to them. And I don't think many parents do that. And I think that's my worry. I think being a youth worker, we see the impact or the detrimental impact that parents not knowing their kids can have on our young people. And I think rather than determine their future for them, listen to them. I know it's a cultural thing, because I know in Jamaica and in African culture, your parents only ever want you to become doctors, lawyers, teachers, them kind of roles where, you know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes that might not be what your child wants to do, but a lot of them feel they have to do it for the parents. And I think sometimes you've got to speak to your kids, find out about them. That's my advice to parents. I think that's the easiest answer, is speak to your children and find out about them. And I think for me, as a youth worker, speaking to young people tells me a lot. And it tells me that not many parents know their children.
I believe as parents watching or listening, that will come across this video later on, we will be able to start listening to our children, having proper dialogue with them. I do say this to parents: when you say you are with your children, you are physically, you are emotionally, and you are spiritually present with them, not the one that you're saying, yes, I can hear you, but you are not actually listening to them. But you're listening and you understand what they are telling you, and you are both communicating. And remember, communication is in both ways. You listen, they listen, you talk, they listen. That's when you will understand each other. Please let us change as parents. I've been hearing a lot of this. The children are saying parents don't listen to them, they don't have enough dialogue with them. Please let us be present parents, not absent parents. Thank you. From the old lessons or from the old journey, what lesson can you share with us that you have learned from that experience that you've shared with us?
That life is not to be taken for granted. I've learned loads. I think just learning that you need to, kind of look at what you want to do in your future and your life and make steps to make it happen. I say this to people: life waits for nobody. I say this to young people. I said, each day you go out there and chill on the streets is a day wasted when you could do something positive, make a positive contribution, make great impact in life and in society. And I feel like with life, you've got to really take it seriously. So I always advise people that way. I think for me, I just wish that growing up, I had the knowledge that I do now, which if I had it younger, I would have probably been further in my journey. And I just feel like those are kind of the life journeys I've learned upon reflection, that there was many things that could have been achieved earlier if I had this knowledge. If I was already in the UK and I knew about everything, knowledge and education, I felt I would have probably be at a level that I needed to be. Whereas I think, like I said, life teaches us everything. So maybe it was a blessing being in Jamaica and learning those values to then come in there and making it happen.
I love what you said about life waits for nobody. Life waits for nobody. That is so key. And life, what is it? Whatever it is that you want to do, just do it, because you don't know what is going to happen the next minute or the next second. And anywhere that you find yourself, please make use of that place. Learn something, meet with people, because I believe all these things that you're learning will be useful later in the future. We are coming to the end of today's show, but I have one question for Kenya before it leaves us today. I know you're doing a lot of, mentoring in the community, and during the course of the show as well, you mentioned that you've taken about 2 young people to Shellfit. How can parents connect with you, on behalf of the children, for them to benefit from your mentoring group?
I think that's a very important question. I think in terms of answering that question, what I want to say is there are so many opportunities available for our young people, but it's about parents tapping into those opportunities. We have a website. So my group is Kyso, Kyso Club. So kysoclub.co.uk is our website. People can also visit my website, and it's literally my full name that's on this profile now, Kemoy Walker.co.uk. And that will show you everything I do. And it's got a contact button for people to drop me an email or ring me. I'm very open. I love emails, but people can call me anytime. People can WhatsApp me. When it comes to communication, like what you mentioned before, Adiyinka, it's so important. And I feel like if parents are messaging me or calling me, it's important that I answer and listen to their queries. So people can visit my website or visit my group's website, kysoclub.co.uk. And that's how you get involved. Just message me. Let me know what your child would like to do, and I'll be able to, look at some opportunities that are available for your young person to get involved in.
For you Thank you. I do really, really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much. While we've come to the end of today's show, I want to say thank you to everybody that stayed till this time. Thank you. Those that watched on YouTube, thank you. Please let your friends, your family, your colleagues, your neighbors, let them know that we are on YouTube, and kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please go on to your YouTube and type Beautiful Mind TV and click that subscription button. Please, please help us. Thank you. And whilst you're there, you can watch our movie. Sailing Point is on YouTube and it's free for everybody to watch, but you just have to subscribe as you're watching it. Thank you very, very much. I do really appreciate it. Don't forget to get my book. I want to say thank you to my friend Charity. Thank you. She actually posted about my book on Facebook today. Wow. And a lot of people have been saying, I want to read it. I don't want to read it. But please do not send it to them. Let them go and get your copy. This is what I always say to people. When you have a copy of my book, you won't want to give it out. You want them to have their own copy because it's like a Bible. You just want to read it over and over and over and over again. So please, to get your copy, try and visit my website, www.beautifulmind.org, online.org, www.beautifulmindonline.org. Please get your copy, or you can get it on Amazon as well. Please get a copy and get one for a friend as well. Wow, I'm so excited about this, my next announcement. Yes, you have to get a pen out and your diary. Okay, some people don't use pen and paper now, but get your phone out and go to your calendar and go and search for October, the month of October. The 3rd of October, you are going to be joining the experience. We've never had this experience before. Yes, the experience, that's what it is. Beautiful conference. Yes, on the 3rd of October. Save it in your calendar or your diary. And the time we're starting is 1 p.m. Oh my God, we've got great speakers lined up for you. Seriously, seriously, jokes apart, you do not want to miss this year. Beautiful conference. And I want you to have fun. Please, I want you to give me names of the guest speakers you think they are coming this year. Please send them to me and I might get something for you. I'm gonna give you a gift. You don't know about that? Yes. Before I go as well, I want to say a big thank you to 0161 community for dropping some tampons for our ladies. Yes, no one needs to suffer in silence. We always say this, and we mean every letter, everything that we say on this show. We don't want anybody to suffer. Please, if you need tampon, you need something to wear to protect yourself. Ladies, when you're on your period, contact Beautiful Mind and we will supply you some. We have free. Thank you very much, 0161 community, for dropping all these tampons for us, for our ladies. Thank you. No one needs to suffer in silence because help is available. Please contact Beautiful Mind for yours today. Thank you very much. We've come to the end of today's show. I always say this, without you, there wouldn't be Beautiful Mind. So please, help us share this video today. I believe Kenya has said a lot of things that will really, really impact life, transform life, and make you to start the next chapter of your life. So please help us share this video today. It's been a blessing. I've been blessed, and I believe you have been blessed as well. And for you to bless others, it's by you sharing this video. So please help us share it. Right, before we go, Kenya, I wanted to say last word, not your last word, but a word of encouragement or advice to all our viewers today.
Just wow, just it's been great to be on this show. I think this is what I mean about positive role models, and Adiyinka, thank you, because I believe that these are the things that our community needs to see often, and parents and young people and everybody else. I think for me, it's just life is there to be lived, and I want people to really kind of take things serious and really acknowledge life, and just really make a really positive contribution in life, and just be the best version of yourself.
For joining us this afternoon. I do really, really appreciate your time. I am really honored. Thank you. We've come to the end of today's show. Like Kemoy said, be the best version of yourself, because there is no other you. The only person that will exist that is you is you. So you have to make the best version of that you. Thank you very much. Thank you, AY, the ambassador, for putting all of this together. I do really appreciate you. Until next week, when I will be bringing another informative and educative topic your way, I remain your host, Adeyinka Adeomi. Bye for now.